Hi again. At the end of the last video I just started the render running for this scene. So we left it to render to achieve a high quality, and that took 1 hour and 45 minutes. Okay, that's quite a long time. For such a simple scene, I do find that quite a high number. Okay, but things are looking nice and smooth in this area. Still a little bit of evidence of a kind of a line in here, which is a bit uncomfortable, but it's possibly the result of the light. It's kind of the light gets to a certain angle there, and it then dies off. So it could be an optical illusion there. You seem to be missing a tiny little spot there as well. There's something, a little glitch there, but generally that's a pretty seductive image. Beautifully lit, very natural appearance. Now, a little bit of a glint showing up in the reflection in the floor there. So the next step here is to go to 3D Studio and try and turn this into a sectional kind of illustration. So I'll just show you the finished ones first, and then I can show you how we kind of do each one. So I shouldn't have closed Photoshop there. Okay, so I'll just find the right folder again. Okay, so here's the two images that are generated. Okay, so we've got a section that is in perspective. Let's just have these two up vertical. Okay, so we've got a section here that's in perspective and one that is orthogonal. Basically, just a simple camera change allows you to have either or. So you get kind of double your money. But the way this is done is that there is a second portion of the model in front of this that's casting proper shadows. Now, if you don't use that, then it's lit very unnaturally. There's far too much light getting into the model. So you have to do this kind of clever invisible section in front, and that's really the trick. Okay, so first thing we'll do here is group the two objects together. There's only a floor and walls, so we will select by name the floor and walls. Okay, and group those. Don't worry about changing group names, group one will do. Okay, and then we can assign another modifier to that, and we're looking for the slice modifier. Okay, so here it is. If I pull this down a bit, you can see where the slice modifier has appeared. It's just dropped it kind of in plan right the way through the model, through the group. Okay, so what we do is remove top. Okay, it's like we've got no lid now. Okay, but we want to view that. We want our section to operate from the side. So using this viewport, we could rotate the slice plane. So you activate the slice plane, then get the rotate tool and put your angle snap on, and this helps you rotate in 5-degree increments. Okay, I'm clicking on the yellow axis or the grey one. Okay, yellow, probably easier one to operate with. Okay, so that's pulled the sectioning plane vertically. Okay, we've got a square shaped object, so what we want to do is render to a square shaped view. So we go to the render setup and change this to make sure it's square. Now that's locked at the moment, so take the lock off. Or is that lock on now? Let's see. So 1000. Lock on now. Okay. So we'll go 1000 by 1000. So we get a square proportion in our render. Okay. While we're here, we may as well tell it what we want to render to. So let's call this section, and this one's going to be perspective one. Okay, so it's ready to render once we've finished setting things up, and then all we need to do is reposition the camera so that the full perspective is visible in here. So we could use this camera or we could clone it. If we wanted to use this scene again for other views, then cloning the camera would be the better option. So I'll just show you how to do that. We'll go to cameras. Okay, we want to use this camera because it's in line. The camera and the target are in line with each other. Okay, click on the. I want to get select tool here. Oh, sorry, it's not letting me change anything because I've still got the slice active. So deactivate that, and I can now pick my camera. Okay, and a simple way of cloning is just to move but hold shift. Alternatively, you can go to edit, clone, and create a copy of the camera. Okay, now we're still in control of the original camera, so we want camera 2 and camera 2's target. Okay, and we'll move those over to here, kind of by eye, just roughly positioning it, central to the model. Okay, I'll just line that up a wee bit. Okay, then change to camera 2's view. Okay, it's a little bit high, so if you hold the middle mouse button, you can drag that down, and we want to get a little bit further away so that we can see the edges of the model. Okay, and we'll push that back up again a bit. Just trying to center it in the view, just by eye is okay. Right, if we rendered this, then too much light is going to get in here. You can see the angle of the sun. It will just flood this. It will be a whiteout. So what we need is to change back to all. Click on get your select tool. Click on the section on the model group. Okay, and clone that in place. So edit, clone to group 2. Okay, don't instance it, otherwise whatever you do to one will affect the other. So we copy that, click here, and hopefully we want to get in control of group 2. So we need group 2. Okay, and we slice this in the other direction, so you remove bottom on group 2. Okay, don't worry about this looking weird. It's effectively put the wall right in front of the camera. Okay, change to wireframe if you're wondering what's going on. Okay, then right click group 2. We want to change the object's properties. By object, we want to make it invisible to the camera. Okay, so it retains its ability to cast shadows, but we won't see it. So absolutely magic. You cannot do this in real life. So okay. Now before we render, you notice that these pictures have got a figure in them. They've got people in them. Okay, and in the previous video, when we were discussing the mapping, we said that our model is going to represent 5 meters high. Okay, so the 200 millimeters that we've actually modeled really represents 5,000. Okay, so we'll bring in a model of a human figure, and we'll resize it to suit the model. Okay, so firstly we want to merge a file, so we import, merge, and we're looking, I've got a folder in my machine that's got all my people in it. So E. Okay, we've got this folder on the shared drive as well, so we can bring in people as we work. Okay, so let's bring in this young lady. Okay, I'll open that. Pick the model that's inside the file, and OK. She should be enormous. Okay, she's a giant. We'll bring in a second character alongside. We'll bring in some company. So import and merge, and let's find a young gentleman suitor for her. Reading the paper sitting down? No, I don't think so. Let's have this guy with his shorts on, he looks pretty casual. Okay, let's have him stood. And open, pick the file. Okay, so 2 people have arrived in the scene, absolutely enormous. Okay, I'm going to colour them so I can see them. Okay, so pick both people and recolour them so we can actually see them. That's better. Select them both again. Okay, and then measure them. Okay, so we're seeing here that the height there is 1771. Okay, so what we need to do is find 1/25th of that. Okay, because our model, our 200 millimeters, is 1/25th of 5,000. So quick calculator. Okay, 1771 divided by 25 equals 70.84. So that's the height that we need these people to be. Okay, so we scale them. Okay, and if I maximize this viewport, it will help, because I need to drag these down, 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 and looking for the number going down to 70.4. So down, down, down it goes, getting there, a little bit higher. Ooh, that's close, 70.425 will do me. Okay, we then want to move them, and we'll be putting these on the ground in the model. Okay, so let's pull them down until their feet are touching the ground. Okay, make sure their feet are kind of embedded into the ground. You don't want little shadows appearing underneath their feet. So the man is slightly higher than the woman there, so let's push his shoes into the ground. Okay, so we've got the height correct, because that's our 10 millimeter thickness above the ground. But we don't know about the plan position yet. Okay, they're not sitting inside the model. This chap seems to be facing away from us, so let's turn him round. So let's spin him through 90, or 85 there, and then move him into the body of the model. Okay, we don't want to come past this halfway line because that's where the slice plane is. Okay, I can push him back a bit though, he's stood in the corner, and the girl here, she's facing the right way, maybe get her facing a bit more towards the middle of the model. Okay, and I'll put her just about there. Okay, so we need to just really hit render now and see what comes up. Okay, we're not going to wait and watch the renders completely happen because that would take too long. Okay, but I have saved the file name, activate the viewport you want to render, and just go for render production. Okay, let's see it start. Just make sure everything's working correctly. Pull that up a bit. Perfect. Okay, we've got our 2 characters here. It's lit nicely. We've got proper shadow inside here, as if it was, a full object and then sliced. Okay, no need to watch that develop because it's just going to take time. Okay, close, cancel. So that's perspective, and doing the kind of non-perspective or orthogonal version is super simple. Okay, we'll just hide this for a second so that we can see what we're doing. Okay, and then click on your camera, you modify the camera, and you tell it to use orthographic projection instead. Okay, so we need to zoom out a bit now so we can see the model. Okay, if we need to reposition at all, hold the middle mouse button and you can center it a bit more carefully. Okay, you would then change the name of the file and hit render. So no need to change the name just now because we didn't even generate the last one. So let's just set this one rendering and you'll be able to see the difference. Forgot to unhide. This is what happens if you don't have the bit in front. Okay, we forgot to unhide the section that's the group 02. So we go to display, unhide by name, group 2. Now hit render. Okay, so you see it got completely overexposed because there's way too much light getting into the model. That's more like it. You know, these people would have to stoop to crawl in through here. Okay, so our entrance tunnel wouldn't be big enough if this was a 1 to 5,000. Sorry, if this represented 5,000 millimeters. If it was a 10 meter high space, that'd be no problem. People could walk in because they'd be half the height. Okay. Now, to kind of tidy this up, you'd really need to try to trace around this either in Photoshop, or you could bring through a section drawing as a PDF from AutoCAD and scale it onto your render, onto your bitmap render. Now, I've got instructions for that in another video, which I'll add to this item. Okay, there's no need me reproducing it because it's exactly the same methodology. So I will add a second video that's related to this. It's a previous year's project, but we were doing the same kind of thing, generating sections. So watch this video and then watch the ones after it to see how you deal with the Photoshop aspect. Okay, so no need to watch that rendering, no need to watch paint drying. We can leave the video just there. Okay, hope that's been useful.